So this would be Friday, August 15th. We're going to be going over the rest of the B points, then getting into how class starts. One of the other joys about this, they get to pick up when they're listening at home, is it also picks up me yelling at you. So you might not be on there, but me yelling at you by name will be on there. So that way later on, if I have to say, email your parents and say, hey, go watch this particular YouTube video, you'll see how many times I had to yell at your particular child. So it works out wonderfully in that particular way. See how I always win? It's fun being me. Alright, so from there, you guys have that.
Wait,
Talking again? Fun. Alright. Yesterday, we began the whole idea of doing the little baby torturing, where I would go through and call you guys on the information. We're going to pick up that again today, try to go through it as quickly as possible. Not covering the same stuff, because I've already asked those questions. So now we're going to go through and do the new stuff that we introduced to you yesterday. And of course, I have to take it off the screen, because if you can see it, it takes away all the fun and the joy of it. As before, no point raising your hand. I'm just going to look deep inside me to find out the information. As an example, Jackson, one of the things we covered yesterday was ways to lose points. One of those things I said, you should not do this particular thing whenever I'm doing it, because it makes me feel like you saying you're more important than me. What is this one thing I said you should never do while I'm doing it?
talking.
Nicely done. Don't talk, because it's going to get you in trouble. Lily, one of the things we talked about is anytime someone does talk while I'm talking, most likely, how many people are going to be getting in trouble? Two. Whoever's doing the talking and whoever the talker is and the talkie. So there's going to be two people are going to end up getting in trouble. Unless you don't want to get in trouble. If you don't want to get in trouble, there's a way to prevent it. The option is not throat jabbing someone, as much fun as that would be. Instead, Caroline, what do you have to do to prevent yourself from getting in trouble? Something with your hand. You're correct. And you do this thing with your hand in their face. You're correct.
Oh, you put it in the face.
Nicely done. With a hand open in the face, you throw it up. Now, when you're doing it, you're not creepily trying to touch their nose with it, as someone tried to do last class period. I'm like, that gets awkward. You just have to throw it up so I see the hand and then look at me with puppy dog eyes, and that way I know that you're trying to say, help me, special kid. And that way I can yell at them and not have to yell at you. So if two people get in trouble, throwing your hand up the entire time. The talking. I have a force field that's been installed in my room. All right, Ariana, where's my force field installed? Nice one. It's around my desk, goes all the way up from the sky, all the way down to the ground, goes over there to the bookshelf area. Tori, is my trash can inside my force field? No, because it's trash. I don't care about it. You can play in the trash can all you want. Tori?
I have a question. On here it says, I do not yell. I do get mad, but I do not raise my voice. But you're saying you're yelling at me.
All right, so this is a good point. I brought that up later.
Where's
Shh, smart kids figuring stuff out on their own. What? I have the same paper right in front of me. I never... I will use the words, don't make me yell at you, but I don't yell. This is pretty much as high as my voice gets. I don't believe in yelling. Because when I was a kid and old people yelled at me, I just went to my happy place. And I was like, blah, 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 blah. It was like, louder, blah, 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 blah. So I feel the same thing happens. Yelling wastes a lot of energy. I find it's much more effective and much more efficient for me to be creative. And as I get creative, it solves problems. And that's where my clipboard comes in. Usually whenever you guys make poor choices, I don't yell at you. I just get out my little Hello Kitty clipboard and I'll start taking off your points, because that's where the B points come from. So anytime you see me holding up my Hello... For the people on the screen. That's for the home version. I have a little Hello Kitty clipboard, because this is what I use in class, and it has all your names on here. And so when you make poor choices in class, when you start really making me grumpy, I don't yell, I get quiet. I just look around, I just start doing stuff like this. And anytime I'm doing that, it's because I'm charging you points. And as you'll find out today, when you lose points, really scary stuff happens to you. So typically, once I start doing this, you guys are like, and then you stop talking, and it solves the problem. So even though I use the phrase, don't make me yell at you, it's my version of yelling, which is usually just staring creepily at you. But saying, don't make me stare creepily at you is kind of awkward to say. So instead, I just say, don't make me yell. So you are correct. I am not a yeller. I think I've yelled once in like the last 8 years, and that was because there was one kid that was just really special, made poor choices, and normal talking didn't work for him. So he got the side of me yelling, and it flipped out the rest of the class. They're like, I've never seen such a thing before. And so Kitty is cool. I use Hello Kitty for 2 reasons. One, Hello Kitty is adorable, like me. The other reason why does that make you laugh? The other reason I use Hello Kitty is because whenever I'm holding the clipboard, it makes people sad. Because if it's in my hands, someone's losing points. If you're losing points, bad things are happening. That means someone's going to be dying soon. So usually that brings sadness in. But if you see a cat wearing a bumblebee outfit, how can you be sad? So it's like sad, happy, sad, happy. So it kind of balances out. You're like, I just don't know how to feel. So I do that because it confuses children, and that brings me happiness. Lily?
Wait, why did you say we're losing B points today?
Why are we not losing B points today?
So why are we?
Who said you are?
Well, you said because today when I...
Yes, because what's going to happen, in a moment I finish talking about this. The moment I get done talking about the B point stuff, I get to begin. You'll see my hand do this, and I get to start the whole me being mean to you and charging B points thing. But we're not there yet. That's why I'm trying to hurry so we get there, because I get all excited. I get any moment, I'll stop asking questions. I can start being mean. Let's see. The force field, talk about that. Don't go behind the force field, because then I have to attack you. I think it's the student revolution. You're trying to overthrow me. We're going to throw down. I'm going to take you out first. The first strike kind of thing. So don't go behind there. And if you want to see something on the wall, just come ask me, and there's every chance that I'll let you do it eventually if I like you. I don't like any of you yet, so don't get your hopes up. Someday, some year, I might Axman. Not going to happen, Jackson. Throwing things. You can't throw things at me, because that'll make me sad. But I am evil. Part of that evilness is I'm going to try and trick you into throwing things at me. I was going to do it today with your guys' Kleenex boxes, but you brought them up to me too fast before I could get my hands up in the air. I planned on doing it. Same thing with the markers. I was going to have someone over here borrow one that you did, but you were too close to me. I couldn't have you throw it at me. I was like, you're ready to go. So eventually I'm going to try and put my hands up and get you to throw things at me, but we're just not there yet. And you can't throw things at each other because you're going to hurt people. But you can throw things, Sydney, somewhere. There are 2 places you can throw things. What's one of the 2 places you can throw things? The recycling bin. You can throw things into the recycling bin. And the other place where we can throw things, Miriam?
The trash can.
The trash can. Nicely done. And it doesn't matter how far away you are from it. If you can stay all the way back over here next to Jan, like, swish, wiggle fingers, and make it, that is absolutely fine with me. But if you're at point blank range and you miss, I will charge you points because you're special. So if you miss from point blank, I get to be mean to you. So make sure you can make it into the trash can. Don't throw it at other people. Where do you go from there? Yeah, I'm not going to answer your guys' questions because you're just babbling now. You're just saying, I don't want to lose points. I'm going to distract you as much as I can. If it's not a good question, then I get to attack you.
How do you attack?
What's that? I can't hear you. What's up?
Okay, so when you're talking about your force field, inside your force field, I see a spam thing, and in Miss Randall's class, there's a spam thing, but she hasn't told me why yet, because it's a secret story. So I want to know the story.
So anytime that you just randomly talk out loud, you're going to hear me say, I can't hear you. That's my way saying you should raise your hand, because if I can hear you, I'd have to hurt you because you're yelling out loud, which hurts me on the inside. So that's my gentle way of saying, don't be the slow kid that yells out loud. So when you just keep going, blaga, 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 and just yelling out loud, I'll try to gently remind you. And then I will torture you by not calling on you, even though your hand's in the air. This way it makes me feel better because I know it's causing you pain. Throwing things, make sure it goes in the trash can, recycling bin, not having class materials. If you don't bring your stuff to class, you're more than welcome to get something from me. But Katie, you have to give me something in order to get that thing from me. And what do you have to give me? A shoe. And it goes in the special bucket over there. At the end of the class period, we trade back. Unless it's not something I have of yours. If it's like a book report book and you don't have that, then in that case, it's just going to cost you 3 B points. From there, we also have writing utensils. If you need to buy a writing utensil from me, like the pencil, you can buy just a normal pencil or a normal pen from me. And Abby, how much does it cost to buy like a normal pen or a pencil?
3 B points.
3 B points, and you can buy those. But some of you are fancy people, and if you're a fancy person, you're going to want to buy like a mechanical pencil or a fancy clicky pen. You're more than welcome to buy that from me, but it's going to cost more. Chev, how much is that going to cost you?
That's going to cost you, was it 5?
I know, are you asking me? And you should
It's
tell me.
5.
Nice one. It's going to be a total of 5 points. So it's going to be slightly more expensive, and you're welcome to. If you don't want to buy one from me, once again, you can borrow it from me. And Katie, what do you have to give me to borrow something? Same answer as before.
Oh, shoot.
Good job. You're going to give me sometimes it's like the answers are whispers in the wind. You have to give me a shoe, and then you'll be good to go. The problem is my writing utensils are specially formulated so they don't slide out of your hands. And Sarita, what makes my writing utensils so special? Yes, she does. She was in my first period yesterday. Have faith in her.
They have a grippy thing.
They kind of have a grippy thing, but it's not the normal kind of grippy thing. It's a special kind of grippy thing. Kayla, what kind of special grippy do they have?
They're pre-textured.
Pre-textured.
Teeth marks.
Nicely done. Well, they're pre-textured with teeth marks. They don't slide out of your hand and make them extra special, then you can hold on to them. Mr. Brovicast, that's disgusting. Of course it is. You don't want to use them. So bring your own writing utensils. And so you give me a shoe, you get to borrow that. Also, if you have the bad habit of being a clicky person, or if you're the one that does a lot of tapping, what's going to happen in this way if you clicky or tap your pen or pencil too much? I rip it out of your hands and throw it behind my desk, and it becomes mine, and I get to hold on to it and love it forever and ever and ever, and it's going to be gone. Yes.
I have a real question.
Okay.
So, what things can you borrow with your shoe, and what things do you have to buy?
It depends as the year goes along. It depends what the different items might be. And as the year goes along, I'll get meaner and meaner about it. So at the very beginning here, I'm kind of nice, but eventually I'll force you to buy stuff as opposed to borrow it. And let's see. Come Monday, when I get to start being officially mean to you, when I come into the classroom, if you've not followed whatever directions are going to be up on the board, that's when I'm going to start charging you points. So if I come in and all you have is your stuff piled up and you've not done what it says, I charge you points. So keep that in mind. That'll be one of the first times. So make sure you come in, read the directions, then you go to your happy place. And what you'll see me do is I won't yell at you. I will just come in, walk behind my desk, pick up the clipboard, start looking around. I'll just go, yuck, yuck. Yunk. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, shh, it's okay. Yunk. And I keep going. And I'm like, 12 of you lost points. But what? And I'll point like, oh. And that way we get a chance to bond and be a little closer. So make sure you follow those directions. Chef?
What if you're actually in the middle of doing the...
Then I'll probably be nice to you at the very beginning.
Okay.
But next time I'd recommend starting faster. Because I won't always be so nice. Yeah.
I have a classroom that's I'm in the science wing, so it takes me a while to get here. Is it...
At the very beginning here, I'll be nice and forgiving as long as you're coming in at least trying. But if you just come in and say, like, wow, thank God I'm done with science, then I'll be mean to you. But if I'm like, I'm trying this real big, I'm trying, then I'll probably be nicer to you. At least you're showing effort. It's the lazy kids I'm going to be mean to, not the kids that are just having problems. I got your back. Now, speaking of lazy kids, if you don't do your homework, 3 bad things are going to, actually lots of bad things, but I'm going to do specifically 3 bad things for you to start off with. Minju, can you name one of the 3 mean things I'm going to do to you if you don't do homework for me? Creepy stare. No, that's way too low. I'm going to, but a good guess. I like how boldly you came right out there with that wrong answer. Rebecca.
Take away a desk.
Nicely done. You lose the right to use your desk. You don't get to have... Do we get to sit down? No! Good kids get to sit down. You have to stand. Well, how are we going to do our homework without a desk? I'm glad you asked. You get to use this as a clipboard. Mr. Brovicast, that's not a clipboard. I know! You're not a real student. Real students do homework. So you get to have this to hold up. But that looks heavy. It is! Support it with your tears. So you'll be okay. So this is what you get to use. Do your homework. Also, that's only the beginning of the evil things I get to do to you. Tori, no, I've already picked on Tori. Victor, what else do I get to do?
We have to stand outside of there and just look through a crack through the door.
That is fun, but not for missing homework. That'd be more for kids who just keep talking all the time. I know you're like, Mr. Brovick, that's going to happen soon. Yes, it probably will. But not for missing homework. That's a whole nother issue we're going to get to. But, Kobe, any either guess what I'm going to take away from you?
I have a question.
Fascinating. Then call on you. Still talking to Kobe. I'm going to take away your desk. Now, there's 2 other things. 1, the same thing all the other times you screw up. I take away the same thing from everything. Yes, you're right. It does start with B. You're correct. It is with points. Good job. B points. You're automatically going to lose the 3 B points from not having the homework. That's the first one, and then you lose your desk. On top of that, there's another thing I'm going to take away from you that everyone else gets to do throughout the day. Jackson?
Oh, you just sit at the special lunch table?
Nicely done. You lose lunch with all of your friends at the happy place. You sit at the detention table of doom, eat peanut butter and jelly, and you drink a milk, and you sit there every day until my homework gets done. Also, on top of that, you also get a late grade. Mr. Broviak, that's all most teachers do is just give us a late grade. I know. Other teachers don't love you as much as I do. I love you more. There's more that goes into it. Mr. Broviak, your love is scary. Yes, it is. So in other words, make the right choices. I don't have to be mean to you. Let's see, did that. The writing utensils, don't click. Pen, pencil, did that. Leaving the room. If you want to leave the room, some of you probably want to leave the room right now. If you want to leave the room, you can use B points. It's going to cost you 3 B points to go ahead and get away. Or, Braden, what's the other option you can use? Gave it to you on the very first day. It is in your assignment notebook. You're correct. You're right, we did staple it in there. Nicely done.
The passes.
Hey, good job. You can use your passes. So oftentimes I say you can either use your B points or you can use your passes. It's up to you. Depends on which one you're wanting to keep. Then we started getting into the good kid stuff. I think we had just started getting here, so I'm going to have to try and give you the quick, speedy version because we're a little bit behind. With this, I am the head of recycling here at school, and I push it. So one of the ways to gain points is it requires work on your part. A lot of that work is going to be with recycling, one of the easiest ways to gain points. So that shows that you're being responsible. So what you can do is bring in plastic bottle caps, like the ones on top of Gatorade, pop bottles, water bottles. Bring in those hard plastic caps. It should be pretty much anything that's the hard plastic that screws onto the top of a bottle, we can probably take. Put those into a bag, bring them in, I'll weigh them, and you'll get points. We also do paper. You can bring in stacks of paper. Every 5 pounds gets you a point. 5 pounds is a lot. So don't just walk up to a piece of paper and be like, I'd like a point, please. That's not the way it works. You got to get to at least 5 before I even consider it. The easiest way to get those points, take a grocery bag, leave it at your house. Every time that you have old homework, newspapers, magazines, junk mail, just throw it in there. That's an easy way to get points. Bring it in every couple of weeks. You're going to be getting 4 to 5 points probably every time. Paper gets heavy pretty quickly. Pop cans, soda, Monster, stuff like that. Anything that's the aluminum cans, not soup cans. We can't take those for some reason. But the aluminum drink cans, smash them, pretend they're me, and then smash them nice and flat. Bring those in. Every 10 of those gets you a point. Then we also do the box tops for education, which are the little pink rectangles. If you had elementary school, you probably collected them there. It's the same stuff. If you have younger brothers and sisters in elementary school right now, they're probably collecting them. Get this. You're bigger than them and probably faster than them. Push them down, grab it, and bring it in to us. It's okay. It's for school. So you bring it in and you give it and we'll get the points. Your parents start yelling like, no, Mom and Dad, it's all right. It's for school. And they're like, that's a good point. And then you can bring them in and you'll be good. Every 5 of those will get you a point, and you can bring those in too. We also do wires, which it says on the list. It's not up there. Anything that plugs into walls, those electrical wires, we can recycle the copper that is inside of them. And we can take pretty much any of those wires, as long as it's not telephone wires. Not mobile phone ones, but the old phones that have like wires that go to the wall that dinosaurs used to call each other. Those wires we can't take because the copper and wire is weird. We also can't do internet cables. For some reason that wire is weird too. And the same thing with the coax cable, which is like the little ones that plug in the back of the TV that has like the little pokey thing and the silver thing that screws around. We can't take that either. All other cables we can take, like the thing that goes from the TV to the wall or from your headphones to your iPod or the old iTunes, all of those. You just clip off the ends and you bring them in. 2 things with that. 1, don't cut them while they're still plugged in. That's an experience you only get once because you die. And the other one would be don't go around your house collecting them until your parents say it's okay. Don't just start unplugging stuff and clipping off the ends, because then when Mom and Daddy want to watch Netflix and nothing's working, and you're like, I don't know, and you're going running out the door, bad things happen. So make sure you get permission, but then any old cables you have, you can clip them, bring them in, like extension cords and stuff like that, we can take them from you. You'll notice I'm not calling you until I get done with this stuff, so you can keep your hand in the air, but it's just going to be for exercise. So that's that. We have vocab words and spelling words. Not yet. Later we'll get to them. Every time you find them in a book, it'll get you points. Not dictionaries, because I'm not an idiot. But all the other books you find them in, you're good to go. Tie game. After next week, we're going to be doing a tie game because I have over 400 neckties, and I don't wear the same tie twice in a school year. So we're going to eventually do a game with them. And so we'll talk about that after next week. Every week we're going to do... Sorry for much talking, getting the hiccups. A quiz and a homework. One of my things I do is if you get an A plus on a quiz, you don't have to do that week's homework. That's my way of saying thank you for being a special kid and paying attention in class. If you do the homework anyway, you get B points. If you're like, Mr. Boviak, I'm smart, and I did the homework, then I give you extra points. It's between 3 and 10, depending on how much of the homework you do. There's different levels of it. If you do all the homework, you can get up to 10 points every week by doing that extra stuff and going ahead and getting like an A on the quiz. Student of the week, student of the month, other ways to get points, they're just harder. Every week I'll choose one kid that impresses me out of my 180. If you are, you get a poster on the wall, you get B points, you get a sign on your locker and stuff like that. Once a month, Mrs. Randall, Mrs. Melling, and I all pick one dude and one chick to represent. You get like a poster in the hallway, you get your name up in the announcements, you get a big poster and stuff like that. It's all kinds of fun. You get 10 points. Bad kid stuff. You can choose to do a Simpson sheet. What the Simpson sheet is, from the beginning of the TV show The Simpsons, when Bart Simpson has to like write a phrase over and over again, I was like, that's genius, torturing the child. So I decided to steal that. What it is you have to write the same phrase 50 times, and that gets you 5 B points. You can only do this if you're below 10 points. If you're above 10 points, then you're too smart. I'm sorry, you're a good kid. But this is for the bad kids. You do it 50 times, it gets you 5 B points. The second time you do it, you have to do 100 lines, and then you only still get 5 B points. The third time, you write it 150 times. Still only gives you 5 B points. Mr. Brovicast, that's just evil. I know. Most kids don't do it because most kids are pretty smart, but some kids have issues, so they're to help them. You can also choose to take it attention. Taking it attention gives you 15 B points. But to take it attention for me, you write 2 essays during your detention, and your parents have to sign your detention sheet for you. Doing all of that gets you 15 points. That's a lot of points. It is, but you earn every single one of those points. Trust me. Or you could be a good kid. I like good kids. I will do good things to you if you are a good person. The easiest way to gain points is to not lose points. Every week you don't lose B points, I give you a B point on top of what you have. Just for being a kid I don't have to yell at. If you go 2 weeks in a row, you get 2 B points at the end. You go 3 weeks in a row, you get an additional 3 points. All the way up to 5 points. Once you hit the 5-week mark, every week after that, you get an automatic 5 points added to your total for being a kid I don't have to yell at. For some of you, that's easy. All you have to do is do your homework, not talk during class, and not be an idiot, and it's going to be raining B points on you. For others, be like, Mr. Mosiak, I can't go 3 minutes. I know. For you, it's going to be raining smacks about the head. So each person's going to have their own thing. So as you gain points, you don't spend these points. These happen automatically. When you get to 30 points, you can bring a pillow to class every day. That's fine with me. You can just sit there and lay your head on it every day that you keep 30 points. At 40 points, you get to sit on the ground when we're doing like read alouds and stuff like that, kick back and like, I'm so special, because you are. 50 points, you choose your own seat in class. You don't spend the 50. As long as you keep 50 points, you get to choose where you want to sit. And you can boot other kids out of their chairs and take their spots. That's the joy of you being better than them. They go, no, and you go, yes. And I go, I agree. You're like, and then you have to leave. That's because you're a better person than they are. If they want to be a better person than you, they should gain more points. At 100 points, you get to play the mint game, which is a chance to get a monkey treat every day, a little red and white mints. You have a game you get to play. You have a chance of winning a mint every single day. 200 points, you get to write on the whiteboard that's over there. And with the whiteboard, you get to write the fact that you're better than other kids and stuff like that. And the last thing with it is, at 100 points, at the end of the year, the last day, if you've kept 100 points on the last day of school, you get your name forever put on my wall. This is a list of every kid who has ever ended my year with 100 points or more. I will keep that on my wall until the day I retire. So that is my promise to you that if you finish with 100 points, you will forever become part of my classroom. And that goes all the way back to kids who were here back in 2004. So it goes back a long way. Those kids are all the way juniors and seniors in college, I think. Covers that. The last 2 things before I forget would be 1, gum, because I've had kids ask. Yes, I'm fine with gum on 2 rules. I can't see the gum packet. If you get out gum and I see it, I'm going to take it from you. Because when you get out a pack of gum, kids swarm you like sharks going after a monkey that's fallen in the ocean. So as soon as you get it out, I'm going to take it from you. And I'm going to eat it in front of you and probably make yum yum sounds. Yum, yum, yum. So don't get out a pack of gum if I see it. The other one is, I should not see you chewing the gum. As soon as I see the gum in your mouth, I make you spit it out because it's distracting. It's like, red, red, red. It gets distracting. So if I see the gum, I make you spit it out. As long as you're chewing it, I'm fine with it. If your jaw's going, that's fine. But it's usually like, nope, I'm going to have problems. If you blow a bubble, you spit it out and you get banned for a week. The next time I catch you blowing a bubble, you're banned for 2 weeks. The third time, a month. The fourth time, 2 months. Eventually, you run out of days of the school year. So don't blow bubbles because it looks like a little punching bag in front of your face, and I just want, but I can't. So instead, I make it so that you have to get rid of the gum. The last thing I cover real quick is you can't lose more than 15 points in a week. If you lose more than 15 points in a week, you get an automatic detention, regardless of how many points you have. If you have 100 points and you lose 15, you get an automatic detention. The only way to lose 15 points is by being an idiot and losing lots of points. So we'll talk more about that on Monday. I didn't get to your notebooks. I didn't get to your pictures. I apologize. We ran out of time. People ask questions. Because of that, we ran out of time. I didn't hate you. It's okay. We're bonding. So on Monday, bring the picture back. Bring your notebook back. And then you can't leave yet because I'm going to give you your yellow sheet.